The Montreal Canadiens are in the Stanley Cup final. Let's go. Here's your Habs Bolts preview. And if you like this content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Guess what, guys? More reactions and more live streams coming your way. Enjoy the preview. It blows my mind that I'm sitting here with you guys about to do a Stanley Cup final preview that involves the Montreal Canadiens. I'm 30 years old. This is the first time in my lifetime I've seen them get this far. They did win the cup when I was 2, but I don't have any recollection of that. This is brand new territory for me. It feels like a dream. I'm at this point dreaming that it's not true and waking up to realize that it is. And how fitting is it that Montreal's toughest opponent yet in these playoffs comes in the Stanley Cup final against the defending 2020 Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning, a division rival, a team that Montreal has had numerous battles with in the past, a team that both teams play fantastic games against each other and have the last few years. I was fortunate enough to be in the building for Price's massive save on Andre Palat just a few years ago in overtime, where he rolled and somehow got the pad on the puck. But here we are in 2021 and we have a cup final to preview here. Welcome back to the Scotian Canadian channel, and this is your preview. Bolts, Habs. To start, I'll give you my general thoughts on this matchup, and then I'll give you keys to victory for both squads. Then we'll move into the roster, starting with the Tampa Bay Lightning, top to bottom, forwards, defense, and goaltending, going through as much individual player statistics as possible. Then we'll do the exact same thing for the Montreal Canadiens. And to close this out, we'll then compare team analytics head-to-head so far throughout the 2021 playoffs. Let's get right into it, baby. I cannot wait for this matchup to start, and I absolutely love that Montreal's opportunity to win a cup is going up against the defending champions. Not only that, a heated division rival, and to be the best, you gotta beat the best. And this matchup is going to be really interesting. We're going to see the shutdown capability of Nick Suzuki, Phil Deneau, as well as the two-way forwards, Gallagher, Lehkonen, Armia, against that high-octane offense of Point, Stamkos, Kucherov, among many more. Then on defense, you have Montreal's Big Four against the also big but really strong puck movers on that Tampa Bay side, who are really responsible with the puck. Not too many giveaways from this decor. And then, of course, the goaltending matchup. Andrei Vasilevsky, who has been trying to, and maybe has dethroned Carey Price as the best goaltender in the world. And Carey, I think, wants that title back, as well as his very first Stanley Cup. This matchup has high-octane offense versus shutdown defense written all over it. Not only that, both teams are capable of being very physical, both on the forecheck and on defense. So look out for a high-hitting, true playoff-style hockey series with both teams grinding it out. Tampa Bay looking to defend and repeat, and Montreal looking to finally get that 25th Stanley Cup. Now, keys to victory for the Tampa Bay Lightning. First, they're going to want to use their home barn sold out as a huge advantage. Get that crowd pumping, hyped up, and loud. Have a good first game against the Habs, and it starts with their continued strong possession game. Not making mistakes out there. Drawing penalties against the opponent, getting on the power play, and then just sniping Genos. They feed these cross-seam passes through the slot, get the goalie moving, and then they just got finishers all over the ice that can one-time it, tap it in, backhand it, Braden Point playing the slot, getting big goals from that area of the ice. So it definitely starts with that power play. They also need to do their best to get in on the rush and avoid the forecheck against the Montreal Canadiens, because the defense are very punishing. Not only that, Carey's good at stopping that cycle on the dump in too. So they're going to want to avoid the forecheck game and get in on the rush and generate their offense that way. Now, keys for the Montreal Canadiens. First, they need a split on the road to start, like in every series so far. Whether it's game 1 or 2, they need a big W. And that starts with strong 5-on-5 play. Don't make mistakes out there. Stay disciplined. Stay out of the box. And then when you do get your chances on the power play, make sure you work the puck and you get your chances and maintain momentum in these games. And we are going to need Carey Price at a level we have never seen before. Honestly, because the way Tampa can move the puck in the O-zone and how they can finish, he's going to need to be a rock for us. And then we have to draw Tampa into dumping the puck as much as possible. So stop the rush. Stop the rush and make them dump it in so we can control the puck and dictate these games. Getting Dom Ducharme back in Game 3 could also be a big momentum boost, so it'd be good to get him a win before he arrives back behind the bench. Now, before we get into the rosters as a whole, a player for the Tampa Bay Lightning I think could be a game changer and a series changer could be Alex Killorn. Montreal's going to put a ton of focus on shutting down Tampa Bay's first line. That could leave some space open for Killorn to really make a difference as one of Tampa's best playmakers. Now, a player I think that could really be a series changer for Montreal. I think Tampa fans know this. Big Josh Anderson. He was a big part in the sweep of the Tampa Bay Lightning the year before they won the Stanley Cup, and he went back when he was with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Well, now he's in Bleu Blanc Rouge, and I'm sure he's ready to go against a team that he is very familiar with, and he's going to be heavy in on the forecheck, really making those Tampa Bay defensemen question what they're doing out there. Now, let's get into the Tampa Bay Lightning roster as a whole, starting with their forwards, and on the first line, we have Braden Point. He's got 20 points in these playoffs so far, including 14 goals. Now, 11 of those points come on the power play. He's also rocking a 32.6 shooting percentage. That's out of this world. He's got 43 shots for 14 goals. That's unreal. 53% in the face-off dot. He's just one of the most elite level players in the game. There's not too many guys that you can compare to McDavid or McKinnon, but Point is slowly creeping up in that conversation if he already isn't there, considering he's the only Cup champion of the three of them. Over to Braden Point's left, you have Bolt's journeyman, Andre Palat, with 9 points in this playoff run so far. But to go along with that, 39 hits. So he's providing a strong physical presence on that first line, as well as some strong two-way play. And then over to their right, the leading point scorer in these playoffs, Nikita Kucherov. Didn't play in the regular season due to a hip injury, but he's back now, albeit banged up after a cross-check late in the New York Islanders series. 27 points in 17 games. 17 of those come on the power play. He's Tampa's primary playmaker, leading them in primary assists, and this the skill he has, his ability to hide his passes with his shooting ability is top notch. Best in the NHL. You have to worry about and be prepared for his shot as a defender, as a goaltender, and then that opens up passing lanes for Kucherov. He's sneaky good with those passes, tape to tape, through traffic, saucing it, just lasers out there. He has to be contained by the Montreal Canadiens, but that is a tall task in and of itself. And down on the second line at center for the Lightning, you have Anthony Cirelli, 4 goals, 6 assists for 10 points. And 48 hits to go along with that, playing real strong minutes down the middle of the ice for the Bolts. To his left, you got Alex Killorn, already mentioned, one of their better playmakers, also up there in primary assists for the Lightning. 8 goals, 9 assists for 17 points on this playoff run so far, and he's also rocking a 21.6 shooting percentage. Another guy who can hide his passing ability with his lethal shot. You have to be prepared for it, and again, it opens up those lanes. And then over to their right, you have captain Steven Stamkos, the right-hander who has 7 goals, 10 assists for 17 points, 11 of those coming on the power play. He's rocking an 18.9 shooting percentage, and he's also gone 54% in the face-off dot. Whereas Cirelli has gone 44.4% in the dot. So they'll definitely be using Stamkos on his strong side as a right-hander in the face-off dots, likely in the defensive zone to win some big draws for them as well. He's also just so strong in the power play. You always have to be ready for that one-timer from him from the dot. He's also a very strong defensive two-way player as well. Active stick, chasing pucks down. And that leads me to who I'm going to talk about next. Another very reliable two-way center. And that is Yanni Gourde down on that third line, leading this team with 13 takeaways. He's a hound for the puck. He's also very hard to play against. Loves to get in on the forecheck. He's also got 5 goals for this team on this playoff run so far. So a knack for finishing. Also scored a massive goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 7 against the New York Islanders, coming off the bench, sneaking in and sniping one past Varlamov. Over to his left, you got Barclay Goodrow, 44 hits on this run so far, as well as 2 points, playing a very strong physical game. Another good forechecker who's going to punish the Habs defenseman as with any opportunity that he gets. And then over to their right, another very strong power forward, one of the better power forwards in the NHL. Blake Coleman, he's got a goal and 6 assists in this playoff run, but he leads the team in body checks with 57, as well as he's just one off the lead in takeaways of this forward group as well, with 12 of them. Another hound for the puck who likes to get on the forecheck and win his battles. Down on the fourth line, you got the another journeyman for the Lightning, Tyler Johnson, playing really reliable minutes at the middle of the ice in a fourth line checking role. He's got 2 goals and an assist for 3 points, and he's rocking 48.8 face-off percentage. Over to his left, Ross Colton, he's got 3 big goals for the Lightning in this run, as well as 34 hits. Another guy playing a strong physical game for them. And then over to the right, you got Patty Maroon, 3rd-time Cup final appearance. He's looking for his 3rd Stanley Cup in a row. Absolutely love Patty Maroon. Good on the Tampa Bay Lightning to bring him back yet again. He's got 3 points on this run, as well as 29 hits. He's going to be an agitator as much as possible against these Habs. Now down on the decor, starting with the best defenseman in this series, 6'6", 240. And he can skate like the wind. Victor Hedman with 1 goal, 15 assists for 16 points, 12 of those coming on the power play. One of the best power play quarterbacks, if not the best, in the entire NHL. He leads the decor in average time on ice with 24-42. He's also got 43 shots on net. Great at finding those lanes from the point and getting that puck through. And not only that, 35 clutch blocks. And his partner, Jan Ruda, over to his right, playing really strong minutes for them on that side of the ice. Big body check, strong defensive play, just a rock back there for them. Another big body on defense. Down on the second pair, you have Montreal Canadiens draft pick Ryan McDonagh, who has been clutch defensively for this team so far in this run, leading the team by a mile in plus minus at plus 11. I know a lot of people don't like that stat, but that's more of a team reflective stat and a 5-on-5 stat, and it goes to show it is very difficult to score goals when this guy is on the ice, and it's more likely than not his team is going to be potting them when he's out there. And his partner over to his right, another very large defenseman, Eric Cernak. He's got 8 assists on this run and a big 44 hits. Another punishing defenseman here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Down on the bottom pair, Habs draft pick Mikhail Sergachev. That's going to be some big storylines here. The Tampa Bay Lightning, 2 defensemen on the left side for them, drafted by the Montreal Canadiens, and they're going to want to put it to us and prove us wrong, baby. I can tell you right now. I'm sure McDonough's over it by now, but Sergachev, albeit it's been a few years, I'm sure it's still fresh, especially considering he's now facing his former team in the Stanley Cup final. But Sergachev on this run, 2 assists, some sheltered minutes, but he's getting some big hits up on the board with 47. Very large defenseman, but he can also skate very effectively, and he's strong at moving that puck up the ice. He's also put up a big 39 blocks for the Lightning. This team really good at sacrificing and getting in those lanes, sacrificing the body and getting in those lanes to keep the puck away from their goaltender, Andrei Vasilevskiy. And over to his right, you have veteran defenseman David Savard, picked up by the Columbus Blue Jackets at the trade deadline. 3 assists for him, 40 hits, just responsible 5-on-5 play that you're going to get from David Savard as the veteran back there. And then in goal, the guy that scares me the most on this Lightning squad, and that's Andrei Vasilevskiy. His stats the last few years are absolutely out of this world. 4 consecutive series clinching shutouts now. That is just otherworldly. He is going to be extremely hard to beat, especially considering how responsible the Tampa Bay Lightning play in front of them. They don't give away the puck much, which means that not too many broken plays coming their way towards Andrei Vasilevskiy, and that makes his job easy. And when a goaltender of his quality has that support, he's going to have success. 1.99 goals against average and a .936 save percentage. Then they have McElhaney as their backup. Regular season stats, 3.09, .875. Tampa's not going to want it to get to a point where they have to rely on him. So God forbid Vasilevskiy doesn't get injured. That is for sure. Now let's move on to the Montreal Canadiens. Now, we'll go through the forward group. The offensive stats aren't nearly as close as what the Tampa Bay Lightning have, but what I will say, every single forward up and down this Montreal Canadiens lineup, responsible defensively, make the right decisions, and forecheck hard, and they love challenging the middle of the ice. So we'll start with the first line. Phillip Danault, and we all know what he's doing, playing Selke quality minutes down the center of the ice. He's got 3 assists through this playoff run so far, so he's not really, he had a big assist there in Game 6 against the Vegas Golden Knights to help close out the series, chucking that over to Lehkonen in overtime. But outside of that, it hasn't been, an offensively highlighted playoff run for Phillip Danault. However, 53.8, almost 54% in the faceoff dot, and 7 big takeaways. He hounds the puck. He covers a lot of ice very quickly, very strong, active stick. It's hard to get around him, and it's hard to generate offense when he is out there. To his left, you have Artturi Lehkonen. This spot was reserved for Jake Evans, another really strong 5-on-5 defensive player. But he's since been injured, and we may see him draw in the series, but we'll have to wait and see. But until then, over to the left, you have Artturi Lehkonen, the OT hero against the Knights in Game 6 to close out the series. He's got 3 clutch goals in this series, or in this playoff run for the Habs, and 4 points to go along with 41 hits. The majority of those going on the forecheck, as well as on the penalty kill, challenging the puck carrier. And then to their right, the heart and soul of this team, the cog in the engine, I say it over and over again, you got Brendan Gallagher. Playing through injury, he's got 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points, as well as 7 takeaways. A guy that often doesn't get the respect he is due when it comes to defensive play. Very strong defensively, another player with an active stick who often wins his battles and just gives it his all every single shift. Then down on the second line, which is really our first line in terms of offensive output. Starting at center, you have the 21-year-old Nick Suzuki, 13 points in 17 games, 46 hits. He may only be 5'11", but he's also 205 and an absolute unit. He's underrated when it comes to his physical play. 46 hits on this playoff run so far, 16 takeaways. This guy is a defensive specialist. He is very sneaky when it comes to stealing pucks away from his opponents, especially on the back check, and he'll turn the play around really fast. And he's got high-level offense to counter with. And then over to his left, you got seasoned veteran, former Cup champion, who's in the prime of his career, Tyler Toffoli, and he is one of our most crucial skaters, a winger who plays in all situations, PK, power play, and real strong presence 5-on-5. He's got 5 goals, 9 assists for 14 points, 5 of them coming on the power play, and for him, 7 takeaways. This line may be our best in terms of offensive output, but it's just as good defensively as our first line, and that includes the newcomer on the right, Mr. Cole Caulfield, who has a knack for scoring goals, but the puck just seems to chase this guy around. He is all over the ice, always involved, always creating, but he's not making mistakes, and he's playing strong defensively. 4 goals, 5 assists for 9 points in 15 games. And again, 7 takeaways for him on this line. Down on the third line, you have Jesperi Kotkaniemi just doing wonderful, magical things here, scoring goals for this Canadiens team, clutch goals as well. He's got 5 during this run so far, as well as 2 assists for 7 points. He's also improved drastically in the faceoff dot for us, rocking a 52.8% efficiency rate in the dot. Over to his left, Montreal Canadiens journeyman and veteran and leader, Mr. Paulie Byron, baby. 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points, as well as 48 hits. This is a guy who's small, he's fast, you always have to look out for him with those takeaways and then cruising up the ice, but he has another guy, underrated physical presence, loves to get in on the forecheck, and he'll take his opportunities to throw the body any chance he gets. Over to their right, there he is, Big Josh Anderson, who we're going to need to be a difference maker in this series, really pressuring the Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman into making mistakes, moving the puck up the ice. He is going to take another guy who's going to get in on the forecheck and punish these puck movers as often as possible. He's got 3 goals, 1 assist for 4 points in this run, including those 2 goals in Game 3 against Vegas, which iced that game for us. Clutch performance in that game, and hopefully we'll see more of that in this Lightning series. 68 hits for the Montreal Canadiens, so leading both teams in terms of body checks. Josh also uses his speed to make a difference out on the ice, not only cruising down the wing with speed, crashing the slot, trying to score a goal, But negating icings, he is real strong at winning those races and keeping the play alive in the offensive zone for the Habs. Not only that, in the neutral zone, clutch at tipping those pucks when the defenseman is just trying to move it north-south very quickly. That can be a big difference when you have shifts like that on a consistent basis. And now down to the legendary fourth line. We got Eric Staal, Stanley Cup champion, future Hall of Famer with 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 points. To his left, you have the shit disturber, one of the most annoying players to play against, just doing goofy things out there while also playing strong, really strong 5-on-5 hockey, and he's been a massive difference for this Canadiens power play. Mr. Corey Perry, 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points. 4 of those, like I mentioned, coming on the power play. He's just been strong for us all over the ice and become a very important part of this Canadiens locker room. And then over to the right, in the prime of his career, power forward Yoel Armia. 49 hits on this run, 16 takeaways. Him and Nick Suzuki tied for the team lead in takeaways, as well as 5 goals, 3 assists, and 8 points in this run for him. This fourth line does a fantastic job of keeping the puck below the goal line in their offensive zone and the furthest away from Carey Price as possible. Constantly chucking it into the corners, going into the dirty areas, winning their battles, and then waiting for a chance to open up. They do a fantastic job of it. You go down to the Montreal Canadiens defense. It starts with the towering first pair of Captain Shea Weber with a goal, 3 assists, and 4 points, 54 hits, 31 blocks, averaging up anywhere between 25 to 29 minutes a game. And then you have to his left Ben Sherrod, another massive specimen of a defenseman. No points in this run, but 57 hits, 39 big blocks. And this is the guy who's going to punish the Tampa Bay Lightning forwards, getting them away from the front of the net, making them question, get into the corners, and just move the puck out of the defensive zone at all costs. Down on the second pair, starting with on the left, Joel Edmondson, Stanley Cup champion, playing some real strong minutes, specifically 5-on-5 for the Habs. He's got 6 assists, including, I believe it's 4 primary assists for him as well. Really underrated puck mover, specifically through the neutral zone with his stretch passes. 43 hits as well in this run so far, and his partner, and he's been a perfect partner for this guy, Jeff Petrie, 5 assists, dealing with a hand injury right now, a couple dislocated fingers, but he's still playing some very poised, responsible minutes for the Habs. You know, he knows when he has some extra time to skate the puck up the ice, and he'll do it, or he'll just make that, responsible play, chip it off the boards, and then on the power play, making a big difference for us as well. He's got 5 assists in the playoffs so far and 31 big blocks. He's real good at getting in those shooting lanes and keeping the puck away from Carey Price. And the importance of this top 4 defense for the Montreal Canadiens cannot be understated, especially physically. All of these guys are punishing big defensemen who finish their checks, are very difficult to play against in the slot. They protect that area of the ice at all costs. Not only that, they are punishing you when you're trying to get in and cycle the puck down in the corners. Down on that third pair, Eric Gustafsson, whose advanced analytics are out of this world. He's got a PDO of 110, almost 111. His Corsi's at 61%, just out of this world. Now, he is playing limited minutes for the Habs, but he's been a difference maker on the Montreal Canadiens power play, along with Cole Caulfield. The two of them have really strong chemistry, moving the puck quick on the power play. And Gustafsson, a goal, 2 assists for 3 points for the Habs in these playoffs. And his partner, and we've seen a bit of a rotation here. We've seen Kulak come in. Romanov has had some minutes, but right now, they are rolling with John Merrill. No points, but responsible defensive hockey from him, winning his battles in the D zone and then getting the puck out of harm's way and up the ice. And then in net, almost matching Vasilevsky's stats, is Carey Price, and he is in the zone right now, really helping us move the puck from the back end, stopping the opponent's forecheck, crisp passes tape to tape to his teammates. He's really helping us out on our legendary penalty kill right now, and he's currently rocking a 2.02 goals against average and a .934 save percentage. He's in the zone, he wants that cup, and I believe he's also playing for something even bigger. Absolutely love this guy, and I'm hoping that he can finally get that elusive Stanley Cup. And in the backup role, we have Jake Gallen, regular season stats, 2.68 and a .907 save percentage. Stanley Cup champion. Again, you got to hope we don't end up having to rely on him, but if we do, he is there. Now to close this out, let's look at some team analytics head-to-head throughout these playoffs so far, and we'll start with some 5-on-5 statistics. Tampa Bay's expected goals for sitting at an even 50%. Now you look over to the Habs, they have the slight advantage here at 50.8%. Now high danger chances for the Tampa Bay Lightning, 29. And again, Montreal, the advantage 5-on-5 generating high danger chances at 46. A significant advantage here. High danger chances against for Tampa, 32 to Montreal's 33. Now also keep in mind, Montreal has played one less game than the Tampa Bay Lightning as well. But looking at these high danger chances against for both teams, the Habs and the Lightning have been two of the best defensive teams in the playoffs this year. So not only does Tampa have a very strong offense and power play, and we'll get into that, but they can match it with really strong defensive play as well. Now, shooting percentage, team-wide, Tampa at 7.8%. They have a significant advantage here compared to Montreal's 6.7%. So an entire percent point more than the Habs. Tampa has the advantage here in terms of the shooting percentage. They also have the advantage in terms of Corsi for. Tampa Bay sitting at 49.3%. Montreal sitting at 47.9%. And I said this in my last series preview against Vegas. I actually like that Montreal's Corsi has come down quite significantly since Dom Ducharme took over as head coach. It tells me they are choosing their opportunities to shoot better than the past when they were just throwing absolutely everything on net, trying to cause a scramble, crash the net and score. And it just, it led to, strong advanced analytics, but not the results you'd want on paper. So, take that as you will. Now, special teams. Let's look at the special teams here. Tampa Bay, 37.7 on the power play. That is otherworldly. Montreal has had 30 now, I believe, straight penalty kills. I highly doubt Tampa is going to get shut out on the power play in this series. You know what? I can pretty much guarantee Tampa will be scoring power play goals in this series. 37.7% on the power play so far in the 2021 playoffs. That is unbelievable. Compared to Montreal's, albeit not as good, but still very respectable, 20.9%. Now you look down at the penalty kill. Tampa, it's almost the opposite. Very respectable penalty kill at 83%, but Montreal's 93.5% efficiency rate on the penalty kill, the best penalty kill in the history of the NHL playoffs. So that is going to be, to me, the biggest storyline of this series. The Tampa Bay Lightning, elite level, very fast, very efficient power play versus the shut down, hard to generate anything against Montreal Canadiens penalty kill. That plus the goaltending matchup could really make this series. I cannot wait for this to start. Please, guys, get in on the discussion down in the comments. Leave your predictions. Let me know if I missed anything. And if you like this content, hit that like and subscribe button. And you can follow me on Twitter at Scotian Canadian. Go Habs, go, baby! Woo!